Have you ever just sat still, looked deep inside yourself and asked, who will I be in 5 years? Maybe at that moment, an image of someone you admire appears in your mind. Could be a famous person, someone successful, wealthy, or simply someone you feel is strong and inspiring. But let me tell you something very special. The person you admire the most might just be you. Perhaps right now you still feel uncertain, unclear about where you're headed. I was once like that too. Not knowing how to turn dreams into reality. Not knowing where to start when everything around seemed full of challenges and limits. But then I realized something important. The journey begins with learning every day. Learning not only from books but also from life, from small stories, from the most honest experiences. I clearly remember the early days when I saw many successful people. I admired them so much and asked myself, could I become someone like that? Sometimes I was afraid I wasn't good enough, not strong enough. But I didn't stop. I started reading books, listening to stories shared by those who went before me, learning to think differently, learning how to face challenges. Here's a small example. I once knew a friend who was very afraid of speaking in front of crowds. She avoided every opportunity to express herself, always dodging the spotlight, trembling whenever she had to speak. But instead of giving up, she chose to learn how to breathe, how to speak, how to control her emotions. After a few months, she didn't just speak in front of people but became a confident and engaging host. You can be like that too, no matter where you are or where you start. Learning and practicing every day will gradually transform you into the person you want to be. Learning doesn't only help you solve immediate problems but also prevents bigger troubles in the future. I once faced financial difficulties, and if I hadn't learned how to manage money, I would have sunk deeper into trouble. But thanks to the knowledge I gained, I knew how to plan spending, save, and invest wisely. Another great thing about learning is that it makes you more confident. I used to fear failure and hesitate to try new things. But then I realized failure is not the end. It's a lesson for me to get up, be stronger, and move forward. Once I started a new project and completely failed. At first I was very sad, but then I learned from those mistakes and did better next time. Fear gradually disappeared, replaced by perseverance and confidence. Learning also changes the way you see things. Once I had trouble in a friendship, thinking I would lose that friend. But after researching and reading about psychology and communication, I learned how to listen, understand, and shift my perspective. The relationship improved, and I realized with a new viewpoint, everything can be solved. Learning doesn't have to mean sitting hours in a classroom or burying yourself in books. Every day you can learn from experiences, from others' stories, from small moments in life. I learn every day by reading an article, listening to a podcast, or simply chatting with friends and reflecting. And you can start the same way. I believe that if you keep learning every day, day by day, you will become the best version of yourself. The person you will admire most is the you of tomorrow. If you want a companion on that journey, I invite you to join Richness Journey. Richness Journey is not just a place where I share inspiring stories, but also where you can learn tools and lessons to help you grow every day. Here you will never be alone. We will grow together, overcome challenges together, and build a meaningful life you deserve. Are you ready for that journey? Let's walk with Richness Journey every day. And let me help you become the person you admire most in 5 years. Part 2. Understand the problem deeply and find real solutions. After you begin your journey of learning every day, the next important step is to understand the root of the problems you face. Maybe you feel frustrated and don't know why your efforts don't bring the results you want. Maybe you are stuck in conflicts at work or in your personal life and haven't found the right way to solve them. I remember a time when I felt the same way. I was very annoyed because problems kept repeating, even though I tried so hard. I only saw the surface of the problem and didn't know why it happened. Sometimes, I even thought maybe I wasn't capable enough to solve it or that everything was just bad luck. But then I learned something important. To truly solve a problem, you have to understand it deeply. You need to know the root cause, not just fix the symptoms on the surface. For example, once I had difficulties at work because my colleagues often misunderstood me. I thought maybe they didn't like me or were unprofessional. But when I took the time to listen, ask questions, and understand them, I realized there were many reasons behind those misunderstandings. Sometimes it was because I didn't communicate clearly. Other times because work pressure made everyone more tense. After understanding the causes, I changed the way I communicated, learned to be more patient, and explain my ideas more clearly. As a result, things improved a lot and the work atmosphere became much better. This is the power of knowledge. It helps you see the truth behind the problem and gives you tools to handle it smarter. Have you ever thought that you might be trying to solve your problems in ways that don't really work? Are you ready to spend time understanding your difficulties better? Learning isn't about showing off how much you know. It's about understanding and applying your knowledge to find the best path for yourself. At Richness Journey, I always share skills and strategies that help you look deeply into your problems and find real solutions. You will learn to recognize hidden causes, consider options, and decide on the path that fits your goals best. Here's another personal example. I used to be very confused about managing my time. I always felt there wasn't enough time, constantly stressed by deadlines. I tried to do everything at once but was not effective. Then I learned about time management, how to prioritize tasks, and say no to unimportant things. After applying these lessons, I realized understanding the problem and having clear solutions helped me work much better. You can apply this in any area: health, study, finances, or relationships. By learning, you confidently find and use the right strategies to solve your toughest problems. Part 3. Build confidence to overcome challenges. After you understand your problems and have the tools to solve them, the next thing you need to develop is confidence. Confidence doesn't mean you are always perfect, but that you dare to face difficulties and keep going. There were times when I felt tired and wanted to give up. I was afraid of failing, worried whether I was strong enough to do what I wanted. But what kept me going? It was belief in myself, and the knowledge I gained gave me a strong foundation. Have you ever felt like that? Days when you don't believe you can succeed, when you feel weak. I want to tell you that's normal. But it's important not to let those thoughts control you forever. Confidence is built from knowing what you have, what you've learned, and what you can do. When you learn, you don't just gain knowledge. You gain strength to stand up even if you fall. A friend of mine used to be very shy and afraid of speaking in public. But by practicing every day and learning communication skills, he turned his fear into power. Now, not only does he speak confidently in front of crowds, but he also inspires many others. For me, every time I overcome a challenge, I feel a little stronger and more mature. Confidence comes from knowing you are well prepared and that you can always learn and improve. Remember, you don't need to be perfect to start. You just need to start, and little by little each day you will become stronger. Part 4. Turn challenges into opportunities. Life is never without challenges. But these challenges are actually wonderful opportunities for you to grow. I remember once I faced a big failure at work. At first I was very upset, feeling like everything was falling apart. But after some reflection and learning, I realized that failure was a turning point for me to rethink how I work, organize, and manage. I applied those lessons and made my next project more successful. Have you ever thought, "I'm just unlucky," or "I don't have the right conditions to succeed"? I believe everyone has difficulties, but how we see and react to them is what really matters. Instead of avoiding problems, try to see them as valuable lessons. When you learn from challenges, you don't just overcome them, you become stronger and wiser. A friend once shared with me that she lost her job and thought everything was over. But she decided to learn new skills and find a new path. In the end, she didn't just get a better job but also became much more confident. At Richness Journey, I share many real stories like this so you can see you're never alone, and you can turn challenges into stepping stones for growth. Part 5. Build a support network and meaningful connections. No one succeeds alone. Your family, friends, and colleagues are a great source of strength to help you go further. I have also been through times when I felt lonely on my path of personal growth. But when I started connecting, sharing, and learning from a community, things became much easier. For example, I joined a study group where everyone shared knowledge and supported each other. From that, I gained motivation, new ideas, and wonderful companions. You can do the same, reach out, connect, and learn from those around you. It might be a teacher, a friend, or a community that shares your goals. These connections don't just help you learn. They open new opportunities too. At Richness Journey, I build a friendly and positive community to grow together. I want you to feel the companionship and support in every step. Dear friend, the journey of change and growth is long but full of meaning. You don't need to be perfect from the start. Just take one step at a time, learn every day, and believe in yourself. The person you admire most in 5 years is the you who starts this journey today. You deserve a better life, and knowledge is the key to open that door. If you want a companion, a place to learn and grow every day, come join Richness Journey. Here I will share stories, lessons, and useful tools so you can become stronger and more confident each day. Please hit the subscribe button, turn on notifications, and let's start this wonderful journey together. Every day is a step closer to the best version of yourself.